Hey everyone, October is a wrap. So I wanted to take a few minutes to share my trade results for the month of October. Before we get in, risk disclosure, we are not financial advisors or broker dealers. Securities used are for illustrative purposes only. We are not recommending that you buy or sell any security. Investing in options trading involves risk. Please pause the video to read the full disclosure. So before I get into my stuff, Chad, who runs our day trading live stream a few days a week in the mornings. These are his day trading Mighty 90 and runner results. You can see his Mighty 90s, 17 winners, 6 losers, a little over 3,100. Volume runners, 4 winners, 7 losers, plus 577. Continuation runners, 8 winners, 5 losers, a little over 1,200. Total profit, $5,009 for the month of October. On his 0 DTE, well, 0 and 1 DTE, on his main TLC trades, on his AM trades, plus 22,000, lunchtime, a little over 10,000, power hour, a little over 6, for a total of 38,000. And then he did a few 1 DTE trades for plus 4,200. So total profit for Chad for the month, little over 43,000. So Mr. Consistent stays consistent. All right, on to my stuff. So I'm going to break my stuff down by account first, and then I'll jump into the actual performance by trading strategy. So my Tradier account, which is primarily double calendars, my end of day Wooga trades, and then my last day of the month trade I did in my Tradier account, which was a big one. So total return for the account, a little over 34,000 with a pretty reasonable, a little over 5% drawdown for the month. So here's my P&L graph year to date. You can see really a lot of this has to do with double calendars just exploding. So that account is up almost 150% year to date. So that continues to do well. Here's the breakdown by month. So you can see I've had 3 really nice months, August, September, and then this month in October. On my one of my toss accounts, and this account, by the way, on these accounts, it just depends on where I have free strikes. Sometimes is where I'm doing some of these strategies, but as a majority, the strategies that I traded in this account were my British Iron Condors, Reverse Iron Condors, 0, 1, and 2 DTE, and Transformers. So this count was up a few percent with a drawdown of about a little over 5%. By the way, my graphs, for whatever reason, on this sheet, I couldn't get them to update. So this is not showing October. I'll try to get that fixed, but I wanted to get this recorded. So unfortunately for this sheet, for whatever reason, those data points were not updated. On my other toss account, which I again trade price action BICs, option selling Magic Homes primarily. This account was up a few percent with a pretty minimal drawdown. Here is the P&L graph. You can see just a little gain, but this is the account that has been just kind of in drawdown most of the year. I'm almost out of drawdown in this account, so hopefully I can get that done maybe next month. And then here's the P&Ls, just trying to really get out of that atrocious June that I had. And so I've had 4 positive months in that account in a row. So that is by account. So let's jump into my results by strategy. So let me pull up my Trader Sync. All right, so 0 DTE, really nice month overall in 0 DTE, almost 53,000. If I go through, let's go through the different setups. No AMICs. My BIC trades, a little over 13,000. I just did one DTE BIC, and it was like $120 loser, I think. Yeah, minus 120 on that one. My price action BICs did really well. Had a really big emphasis and focus on those this month. A little over 27,000 on those. No FOMC in October. Okay, so my last day of the month trade, this thing was a beauty. Actually, I did a one lot in my wife's account that was plus 945, but the big one is was this one plus 18,420 in the last 12 minutes of trading for October. So good hit there. So a little over 19K total on those. My end of day Wooga trades. There we go. A little over 5,700 on 30 trades, 56% win rate. You can see it was a little rough at the beginning of the month, but the last few weeks performed really well, with the exception of the 21st. So the Woogas continue to do well. Let's see. I did just a couple of 0 DTE price action trades. I've really refocused more on the BIC style, but took two of those. Plus almost 1,400 on those two. My RICs were a little red. That one was a discretionary one, minus 2,200. So all in all, almost 4K down on the RICs for the month. And then on one, I didn't do any 2 DTEs. But on some 1 DTEs, those are pretty red, a little over 10K. And that's a little misleading because all of my losses on those will fall here. Whereas if I transform those, they'll go on under my transformer category. So I'll show you that here in a minute. But as far as just losing 1 DTE trades or ones that I took off for a profit without transforming, that was the total there. 1 DTE's definitely struggled. All right, so that's it for 0 DTE. Next, day trades. So this is my Mighty 90s and runners and a couple other variations, which I call level rejections and stop hunters, but total profit 44 trades, a little over 3,100. I've really had a heavy emphasis, which you should always, on just managing risk. You know, I really want to keep any losers under $1,000, which I did pretty good on, except for this one here, which was a Mighty 90 in Google. I took a $1,900 loss on that one. But for the most part, all the other trades, I managed my risk really well. And so, I didn't trade these too much. I didn't trade them every day, but positive on the month. Next category, no butterflies, dynamic calendars. So gave some back on calendars towards the end of the month, but still reasonably good. Plus 14,000 for the month. You can see the first part was just absolutely crushing it. And then came the last couple weeks. You can see there's some red. Took a really big hit on a 6-7, minus 4,500 on that one trade. And then kicked back into some green in the last week. But that little rough patch there definitely gave some back for the month, but still positive 14K for the month. Overall, 61% win rate on 85 trades. Options selling was my one red category. Took a big hit on a volatility contraction play in VXX, which, in hindsight, leading up to the election, I knew volatility was going to continue to expand. So I should have, obviously in hindsight, I should not have done that trade, but it is what it is. Minus 8,200 on my options selling trades. Also took a little bit of a hit on an oil strangle. So overall red for that category. And then lastly, no portfolio margin. So lastly, transformers. Small green. So I'll break these down a little bit more. So my, a lot of these trades are my Magic Mahomes trades. So let's just look at those specifically. So you can see minus 5,400 on those. And the first part of the month was just absolutely atrocious. I mean, I took, these are near pins, which very rarely happen, but yet I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the first 2 weeks of the month. So that was brutal. You can see the last part of the month, I just had the one loser. See, these are all nice winners. But so in a little bit of a drawdown with my Magic Mahomes strategy. So that's my transformer version. And then the other version, which I do with a bot, which I do not transform. I just enter and then let it go to expiration. That version was a little bit positive. So on 22 trades plus 1,700. It still had some of those atrocious near pins in the early part of the month, but worked out of that drawdown with the with wins for the remaining month. So plus 1,700 on those. And then the other primary transformer strategy that I did was Iron Condor. So this is mostly on 1 DTE trade. So plus 4,000 on those, just 2 small losers. And then my VRRs is kind of the other main one that I've been doing for the month, and plus 2,600 on those. So Magic Mahomes really bringing down the P&L overall on transformers, but still positive for the month. So that is it, my friends. Going into November, obviously the big news is the election, which happens next week. So I'll be doing very little trading next week, and then hopefully get back to a little tiny bit of maybe quote unquote normalcy after that happens. So look forward to November. Hope everybody has a good trading month. Talk to you soon.